you look up the definition of emotional intelligence, you'll find Man United fans, because we go through the most.
You know, I always say being a Man United fan helped me get ready for marriage.
There we go.
I'm done. And who is the most emotional one after a loss?
Me.
Really?
Definitely.
Before I got into football, I never understood it. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you shouting at the team?
Oh,
Like,
you get it.
what's going on?
Now she gets
Then
it,
when
yeah.
you're in it, I was like, oh, so this is what you guys were going on about. Okay.
How does it feel working at SuperSport?
It is, as a football fan and lover of the sport, insane.
That is so cool.
So anyways, when I went to Berbatov now, in that moment, he's like, you have a really good touch. You have a good touch.
Berbatov said that.
And that's coming from the king
Berbatov
of first touch.
compliments you on your touch. What do you say?
What can you say?
I opened my mouth, my jaw dropped.
He was literally
I was literally like so, yeah, Ash was there like, when it
I'm
happened.
trying to
and
record.
and then I look at him and I was like, you just made my laugh. Honestly. Then
Got a rep?
he puts his arm on my shoulder. And then he looks at me and he's like, are you a
We
real
actually
fan?
got this on video.
Yeah, she's like, are you a real fan? I was like, I'm not just a Man United fan, I'm a Dimitar Berbatov fan.
Like, I mean,
And
everyone has a different reason for why they support different teams and all that kind of stuff. For me, it started with players, and it was actually BernardoSilva.
Yeah.
I was shaking a little bit just because it is crazy to go from watching someone on TV or someone that you have a connection with and they don't even realize, like they don't know the importance of their existence in your life
Yep.
for whatever reason. And I was just like, Bernardo, you're the reason I support this team. I said to him, and I was like, I love you. And he's like, thank you very much.
What's good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of In Conversation with Rudy Samuel, the platform where we sit down with some of the most interesting minds, creative entrepreneurs, and game changers shaping culture. Now, football has changed. It's no longer just about the players on the pitch. It's the fans, storytellers, creators, and personalities. And today I'm sitting with one of the most recognizable football duos in South Africa. They have built a brand around football conversation, banter, reactions, analysis, and culture. And now they're doing it at the highest level, working inside and with SuperSport during the biggest football moments. But beyond the content, what does it take to build a sports media brand as a married couple? How do you balance football, marriage, pressure, deadlines, and the internet? Today we find out. Ash and Migs, welcome to In Conversation.
I love that.
What
Can we?
an
I want to clap for that intro.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
My
We work
heart
hard.
is warm.
Of course,
thank you for
thank you.
having us.
I
It's an
even
honor.
have goosebumps. These are real goosebumps because that's how excited I am. for
I'm
us to
super
unpack all of
excited.
this.
You know, thanks for being here. I see you guys on TV, on TikTok, on everything, every Friday on SuperSports and stuff. So it's an honor really to be here because you guys are living my dream. You know, one day I hope to be there as well. So yeah, you know, but before we get serious, I want to do like a quick, fiery question. Who's the bigger football addict between the both of you?
If you can't tell, if you're just listening, my hand is all the way through the ceiling.
I think
Definitely me.
because you got a head start
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Because I'd say I was quite late. So obviously we'll get into the conversation, but I would definitely say you eat, breathe everything football.
Football.
So I knew when we got together.
Yeah.
That
I would
it
say
was
you're the
football,
Arsenal
me.
between the two of us, but they did win, so I
Okay.
can't really make fun of
You
them
see,
yet.
you're gonna have to change your jokes.
Okay, no more making fun of Arsenal. It ends there.
Clip it.
No, I'm done. And who is the most emotional one after a loss?
Me.
Really?
Definitely.
So
But you haven't lost much lately, Manchester City fan.
listen, I felt pain, and I'm actually in mourning, obviously, because Pep has left us, and I don't know what we're gonna do. But I'm actually very emotional. Like sometimes I need to actually go touch grass because I'm
Really?
like, girl, it's not that deep. And I never, before I got into football, I never understood it. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you shouting at the team?
No,
like,
you get it.
what's going on?
Now she gets
Then
it,
when
yeah.
you're in it, I was like, oh, so this is what you guys were going on about. Okay, that makes a lot
See,
of
United
sense.
fans, we get it.
Yeah,
we don't.
we've been
We
through
we hold our emotions sometimes. We don't
no,
get.
it's because you've been practicing the pain for how many years?
Yeah, so we
I
know how to
knew.
handle the struggles. So we don't get too ahead of ourselves, and we also don't get too sad because we know pain. You see?
You were sad a lot
If
for a
you
very
look
long time.
up the definition of emotional intelligence, you'll find Man United fans because we go through the most.
You know, I always say being a Man United fan helped me get ready for marriage.
There we go.
Yeah.
Was it the
That's where
loyalty
everyone-
factor as
Forgiveness,
well?
loyalty,
You're single.
loyalty factor, everything.
Find a United fan. You'll be sorted.
They're super loyal.
It's super, exactly. Has football ever caused genuine tension in the house? Genuine, like between the
Yeah,
both
of
of you?
course. There's moments. I think
Not when like our teams. So like with it, when it's a derby, for example. Oh wait, you know which team does make me mad actually, and like we need to probably still chat about this. Real Madrid,
Yeah?
because he's also a big Real Madrid fan, and I have my personal opinions about Real Madrid.
She hates
and
Real Madrid.
I've never said I hate them.
She
I have my
loathes them.
personal opinion,
she despises them.
and and he's in my ear more than I would say he was with Man United. Because also last season we were on the same team basically.
Yeah, yeah.
You know when
So-
people are playing games and they rub it in, like they sour winners. So when
Oh,
Real Madrid
I see.
lose, you
that's-
you celebrate as if it's your team winning, no matter who plays against them. So those times
mean-
it's a bit rough
Must be
because
tough at home,
because
eh?
like there were two rules when we got in the contract, marriage contract, right?
The
rules and
with
it
the-
sounds
is
like
it
a
a
serious-
prenup or with a cool? Which one is this?
Should have been in the prenup.
It was the one we sent to Fabrizio.
Okay, yeah. I see,
So
I
it's
see, I
not
see.
not
Here we
quite
go.
the government one,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
but that side.
Migs was in charge of that.
and the one was you can't support Liverpool. And as a fellow United fan,
Yes,
you
of course,
understand that's
100%.
like a forbidden sin.
100%,
You know?
yeah.
Already Man City is like far, but Liverpool's too far.
Yeah, way too far.
And then imagine she also likes Barcelona.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I admire
It's
from
enough with
afar.
Man City.
That's
I
enough.
haven't made any commitments to any Spanish team. I just know it's
And
not Real
now
Madrid.
BernardoSilva's at Real Madrid.
Yeah, no.
And she loves Bernardo, which means
So you
we
have
are going
to
to support Real Madrid together.
warm up
She hasn't
together.
accepted it yet, but it's
Yeah,
inevitable.
he's building the delusion. The World Cup is keeping us distracted from this
Yeah,
conversation.
'cause in 3 weeks' time, back to business.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
then we're going to sit down and have a
Exactly.
conversation about, am I really going to support Real Madrid? Because
Yes.
Bernardo's there.
Yes.
And I've already given him my answer, but he doesn't like it. So.
All right, then, since we know who the problem is in the house, take me back to the beginning. The Manchester Derby. How did we get that name? Where did it start? What does it mean?
Okay, so let's go back. It was 2022. So actually, first, we got to go further than that because we've been together for 11 years. And so
Congrats.
obviously within that time, thank you, we've been trying to build our own like brands. We both had things that we wanted to do, things that we ended up doing together. And the football thing was never really, we never planned it.
Just
I
to
mean,
jump in,
love
we
that.
actually started a page at one stage called Are You Not Entertained? And we did content together, but it was broad. So one day we're talking about a TV series or a film, like or pop culture or music, or then there was even a sticks and balls segment, which was football. And like that was the one
That was
I obviously
basically it.
enjoyed the most. And we never thought of seeing this as a field to actually go into.
Penetrate,
if we're being
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
And when we were actually living in, so we got married in April of 2022 after being engaged for like a month. It was quite a surprise.
Nice.
We
People
kind of
who
just
know what they want.
and we kind of also like if we didn't let people know that we got married before getting married, then they found out when we just changed our status on Facebook and like we're married, and they was like, what? Why weren't we invited? And I'm like, well, anyway, we'll have the conversation. So then instead of like the whole big wedding and all of that kind of stuff, we went to live in Portugal for 4 months because a lot of Migs' family is that side. And while we were there, he was performing because he's a singer and he does a lot of performances. He's working really hard actually during that time because summer in Europe, they are crazy.
It's a party, yeah. They
Yeah.
take it very seriously. here.
Exactly. And they start
Every
at
day is a
like 1
party,
in the
yeah.
morning. So he'll perform from like 1 to 3. And it was crazy. So it was a fun time. And then we had discussed doing content, but we had never found something that stuck. Something that every day we were like, oh, okay, we have a direction. We know exactly what we want to do kind of thing, right?
And also, more importantly, we wanted to get up every day to do that content,
Yes.
which,
No, like, you gotta
which I
have
think is
passion.
very important. You have to
Yeah.
if you're going to do content, it has to be something you
have to
feel
love
connected.
it.
You have to love it.
Yeah. And so when we first started, the thing around football was the fact that he has loved football his whole life. I really got introduced to it when we got together. So it was mainly through the very painful times of Man United,
Yes.
like right after Sir Alex. So just based on that and the fact that at the time because I also write on the side. So I like write romance books. And what I wanted to do was write a football series because I was like, I hadn't really seen one. There's a lot of hockey ones. There's a lot of
F1.
F1 was a big one as well.
Hockey.
The ice hockey, like it's huge, okay? And so I was like already around football the whole time because Blitz was on every single day. Like,
every day.
when you're watching
Morning
when you
to
have
night.
your breakfast.
That's our
News at 6, at 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, exactly. So that's like how it was going. And I was constantly around it. He was always watching games. I was always watching games. So it was kind of something that just started. It wasn't even intentional. And then when I decided, okay, cool, maybe I want to write a football series, let me like learn about the sport, you know, because it's more than just what you see and all that kind of stuff. And then the more you pay attention, the more you watch, the more you learn. And then when we got to go to live games, that is a game changer. I think anyone that goes to a live football game and it goes in the favor of the team you're supporting, you get the bug. Best time.
Course,
you get the football bug.
Yeah.
And she got it.
Yes. And so it hit me quite hard. And for me, it was also like, I mean, everyone has a different reason for why they support different teams and all that kind of stuff. For me, it started with players, and it was actually BernardoSilva.
Yeah.
So it was BernardoSilva, João Cancelo, that kind of thing. And then I was like, more, I need to watch more, you know. And then they just happened to both play for the same team as well.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to Pep, and I was like, who is this genius? You know. And then it just kind of snowballed from there on. But we were lucky enough that we were able to go to London to visit. He has a friend that was living there, and we went there for the first time. And we saw, like, I saw a City jersey. And I was like, maybe we should, like, why don't we try football related stuff? Because we were having conversations off screen anyway.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's try these conversations. And then that was when you really, I think, understood that I was very serious about being a Man City fan.
No,
like,
please no.
that was my call. It was they called to me. The players called to me, and then, I mean, everyone has their opinions on different teams and they can say what they want. And I know I was late to the party, but I'm obsessed with it now. And so it was pretty much at that moment we were like, okay, cool, let's do it. We can even call ourselves the Manchester Derby. Like, just in passing, we were doing that. And that was kind of the birth of it. It was because it's basically a derby in our household, you know,
every day.
So we were kind of making jokes about that. Exactly. And even our first video on TikTok was like, when you get POV, you get married, but you forget to, like, I don't remember the exact words, but you forget to, like,
what
confirm
team
which
you support.
team in Manchester was it?
Yeah.
And then you like turn, and now I've got the City shirt on, he's got the United shirt on, and
that was that first video was really well received, almost to the point where we're like, whoa, like
yes, there's something here. So that's the moment you realized, okay, we can go.
There's a possibility.
But again, it was strange. This page was different to any other type of content or field we've gone into, because our intention behind it and what we wanted to get out of it was different. Because everything else we had done previously was like, okay, what do people want to see? How will we make money? How will that was our intention. Whereas this time it was like, this is something we love, and it's something cool we can do together over and above. I was still doing music stuff. Ash was still doing her writing. We were still doing all the other things that was making us money, but this is something we enjoy. So let's make sure how we do it is authentic to us from the beginning. And the only rule we've ever had was just to stay consistent. So from a professional point of view, it doesn't matter if the video is 10 seconds and low quality, high quality, so long as we are connecting with our audience every day. That's the only rule we have, is at least one video a day. Doesn't matter what it is.
So that consistency has brought you guys now to dealing with people from the UK. Because when I emailed, as we spoke off camera, I emailed you guys, and then this UK mail pops up, and it's like, these guys are like big time. So, and we know in a football context, the UK, Manchester, it's a pretty big deal. So talk to us about that. How did we get that?
So that came about, it was actually recent. So that's as of this year. So we started our page 2022. While the first page, because if you don't know, we went from at the Manchester Derby, lost that account, to at the Manchester Derby 2.0, lost that account.
So we got that. So we lost it first on TikTok, and then we had to start again. And then it was like, we had built it up to, I think it was 65,000 followers, and we had built it up, but we were only doing TikTok. So looking back, we know why we lost that, was because it was supposed to push us to the other platforms as well. So after that, we were like, okay, fine, Instagram as well. We just do it, okay? Then Instagram, we grew Instagram really nicely for like a year and a half, and it was like 120K.
We got it to.
And then
that account was suspended, and we still don't know why as well.
It's not because of the names, you know, these teams, how they are with
think actually, but it was, I don't know, it was during the Champions League
too many fans angry, and then too many people report. And then
it's a thing that people threaten to
jealousy,
do. And clearly, I mean, again, we're not blaming anyone. We don't have the proof, but it could have happened that someone did that. So that's why on Instagram it's 3.0 and there's enough numbers, obviously touch wood, hopefully that doesn't happen because it's not a nice feeling. Obviously we tried not to base everything on numbers, but when you've worked and built something up for like very long, and it takes long, it's not something that just, and with Instagram and TikTok, they're two very different platforms. The way the audience reacts is very different. TikTok, they're like, follow. And then they realize a week or two later, like, oh wait, I only like that one video. So, that kind of thing. Instagram,
people don't really like to follow on Instagram. They're just consumers.
It's bougie.
They window shop.
That's exactly what it is. So then, with regards to the manager thing, so we've been looking, because most of our content, it was never with the intention of, oh, hey, we're going to make so much money off of this. This is what we're going to do. We didn't know any of that. We still look at our lives every single day and we're like, whoa, like pinch me kind of thing.
I can imagine.
It's filled with just consistent gratitude, really. And so part of when we started to monetize and that was only like a year into it. Like we didn't make anything the first year because again, that wasn't the intention. And the intention in what we've done has never changed. It's still never done for that reason. We're lucky that it happens. It's that whole thing, don't chase, attract kind of thing. And then we were looking for help because now that we know what we have a product, we can work with it and we can also take it to the next level and do it full time because that's another thing. Like you've obviously been like Migs has been freelancing since we left Varsity, which was 2018. And I've been in the music industry and stuff like that. But I'd love to do content full time, for example, which we're lucky that where we're at now, it's becoming more of that. But the point of that was also just to make the right connections, hopefully in the UK, because our content can cross over.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
It's one of those things. And then we're also very big on energies. We stumbled upon the page. I was doing some research. Oh, you know what it was? Actually, I'm so sorry. It's coming back to me now. I watched a video of this one lady on TikTok and she said she sent out like over 10,000 emails to different brands, okay? Just trying to build up 10,000 emails. And it's like, no. And then she showed like where she was now, where one of the brands she had originally reached out to, now she's working with them on her own terms kind of thing.
Ooh.
And it was like, if you don't ask, the answer's always no. So I was like, okay, here we go. No, we're going to do it. We're going to find one. And then that day I stumbled upon, it's called Creators United.
And you actually reached out to a lot of places. And he, Leon, is just so lovely. So he was the only one that got back to us. And then we are very big on energy. So we like have to have a conversation. And when we met him, we were like, this is our kind of person. Because you need to be careful about who you bring into your team. And that's why I think we've spent, a lot of our team has just been the two of us for a very long time. Maybe we have trust issues or something like that. But so it's just about having the right people in your corner. And that one just worked out really nicely.
And now, we talk off camera, growing up as wanting to become footballers and knowing about SuperSport and the studios and stuff. It's the World Cup. Besides the World Cup, you guys are there, I think, most Fridays, if I'm not mistaken, and stuff. How does it feel working at SuperSport, at the studios in Randburg?
It is, as a football fan and lover of the sport, insane. One, on a personal basis, because of my love for the sport and who I get to work with, who we get to work with, but also the fact that we get to do it together. We're very fortunate that we like working with each other.
It's down there.
It's important to love your partner, but if you like them as well, then that's a bonus. So we're very fortunate that we can coexist in the same workplace and that we bring the best out of each other when we are working together. So fortunately, that's been an even greater bonus because I also never, when we started dating, like forced the sport on Ash or like, anything like that. It was just
always there. It was, can you please press pause on the Champions League game because he was coming from indoor on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Doesn't want to miss anything.
Exactly. He's like, no, I'm going to watch it from there.
I have to watch,
It was Champions League. It was on the weekends after lunch. Okay, can I go watch the game? And I'm like, well, I'm going to watch the game. And then, it's a great sport. So here we are.
But the SuperSport thing, it started because we were first nominated for a DSTV Content Creator Award, which at the time was also crazy. Came out of nowhere. We had our page for just over a year or something. And after that, we're like, whoa, that's cool. Then we were invited with the other nominees to a show that SuperSport were hosting. It's like a fan show. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember what it was
of
called.
it, but they've now changed the way the show works. Anyways, so we went on, and it went really well. From our perspective in terms of how we obviously were perceived that night, that the head of football then spoke to us and then said he'd love to work with us moving forward. But it was first just a conversation, right? So it was first like we'll be in touch, we'll speak, all of that. And then nothing happened for a long time.
Like almost a year.
Yeah, almost
actually.
a year, yeah. So it's
like
it was a good moment. We were there, but we also, like I said, you don't chase, you're tracked. We're going to just carry on doing our thing. Whatever comes from it is a bonus. And if you put yourself out there every day, you kind of force people to pay attention to you.
I'm learning that every day.
Every day. And I think once SuperSport opened the doors for us again, then it just became a more consistent thing. And then we had meetings, and basically then we're part of their talent team, which then became insane, because then I remember we went to like a workshop.
A talent
workshop. There's like 200, 250.
Because it's across all the sports. They just get everyone in one room,
rugby,
basically.
everything.
And they fly people in like from Cape Town, wherever, so that everyone can be there. And we're busy sitting, and then Makhaintini comes.
That's one of my heroes as well. I used to play cricket.
I also used to play cricket, and I love Makhaintini.
Yeah, dude. His action always used to fascinate
me.
Yeah.
So this guy comes and taps. I'm getting goosebumps again. Taps my shoulder. He comes to us, and we've never met him, but I love this guy. And then I look. He's like, obviously he's very tall. Makai. He's like, Makai, nice to meet you. See your content. Like, love what you guys are doing. And then that moment also was like, wow,
we here now.
We here now.
Yeah.
But also the environment of SuperSport, the people that you are coexisting with, they also treat you as everybody else. I must say, like, there isn't a hierarchy. You'll get a few people that maybe...
But from our experiences, it's been a general,
and especially in the football department,
space.
Everyone, it's like a family. So that was also something we didn't anticipate, that even coming into the space as new creators, also the break between content creators and like linear television presenters.
Quite a jump.
It is a jump, and people are still adjusting to seeing creators.
Yeah, some are not very happy.
A lot of people aren't happy with that.
That's not our problem.
Yeah. So trying to navigate that space as well, but the way they've helped us transition into working with them, it's actually been fortunately effortless, in the sense that, like you said to us when we first sat down, just be yourselves. Same thing. They don't want us to be anyone else they have on TV, but who we are. Yeah. That's what they want us on TV for. So it's like, when it comes to preparing for things, you'll get briefs. You'll obviously get like things that you need to make sure you focus on. But essentially, you have free reign to just...
It's a lot of trust.
It's a lot of trust.
What a place
they
to
just
be in.
like...
It is beautiful.
We trust who you are and what you do, which in the beginning, it's like... You almost feel like, even though the door's been open and you've been welcomed in, you still have to then prove why you're there.
Yes, of course.
And it's not something that they necessarily put on us. It's that, what is it? Imposter syndrome. How fun. So there was a lot of that in the beginning, but that's purely from us and trying to make that transition, and a transition that we had never really anticipated. Because also when we were studying, like Migs was studying music and acting, and I was doing acting. So he was doing just music and screen, and I was doing stage and screen acting. And we did TV in one of our semesters. And I was... Can I swear on this?
No.
I know. Okay.
You were
I was going to say an Afrikaans word for...
The one with the P?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
K. Anyway.
Oh, you can say cuck.
Cuck. Okay, yeah. I was so cuck. I was so bad. I was like, this is so bad. And then it's like, I was like, TV, not for me. It's different now when I look back.
To jump in there's still a very distinct difference to what you were doing there, which was presenting.
Yes.
And being someone that maybe has to be heightened and specific for TV, versus you being on TV as a personality, as yourself.
Yes.
So there is that difference between presenter and personality.
Yeah.
So we very much are hired as personalities.
So before we get before we get into that, I wanted to focus on the legends, the big names.
Legends, yeah.
Because this last couple of weeks, I've been seeing you guys getting these people that I perceive as serious to do funny stuff with you.
Yeah.
So
been
how does it feel being with people who played in the Premier League, played international football? Just please, man, like you're living my dream. So try and make me understand what you are experiencing.
So first of all, just being able to work with and be in the space with legends like the ones we've, just to name drop a few.
Go ahead, brother.
John Terry.
Drew, I saw that and I was like,
And
wow.
Right. It was crazy.
The
for
whole
us
thing
too.
was the guys that are coming obviously to cover the World Cup.
Yeah.
But part of what they do is also just general content. And us being the content creators, it's been very nice because people have been like, okay, so we're going to have this person here. What ideas do you have?
They're asking you too.
They're
Yeah,
asking
we
us.
get creative
freedom
in
So,
like ideas with Berbatov or whatever. It's like we pitch them.
That one, I was
That
like, I need
was-
to holler at these two to show up here.
That was the coolest thing. And also from the outside looking in, knowing how much Man United has meant to this
Yeah.
man.
And I love Berbatov.
He was in the golden era, you know, in the team 08, 09.
And just everything. And I think that's one of the benefits of when you're in the same space. You get to like see your partner every day doing something that you know means so much to them. And also like when he was like, I'm going to ask him if he'll do a first touch challenge. I'm like, what the hell?
And he's like the king
And
of
that-
first touch.
And that
craziest thing.
was me taking an opportunity because there was a little gap where he was supposed to be shooting another piece of content. So this is Berbatov I'm speaking about. And there was someone he was waiting for. And so he was standing there alone. And I was like, you know what? This is my chance. Let's go. Let me just jump in there. So I went in and fortunately I'd already sat with him for a vodcast, like for almost an hour. And we were chatting really comfortable with one another. So I was chill to ask him like, even like, hey, Berbatov, like pass the ball to him. And then,
Crazy.
are you keen to do some like one touch, like knock the ball to one another? But I have to tell you the best thing that ever happened to me in my whole life.
Talk to me. You heard it here first. Let's go.
This was, I still want to actually do a content piece about this, just explaining how insane it was. So while we were all there at the studio, the ball was there. So I was playing a little bit, but nothing crazy. I don't know when he must have saw
But you
me.
were he just likes to do the kick-ups, you know?
Yeah.
And you do it quite effortlessly. Maybe it doesn't seem effortless to you because you've just done it. But I looked at it and I'm like, that is so cool.
Oh, number
even
one fan.
I'm like, that is so cool.
So anyways, when I went to Berbatov now, in that moment, he's like, you have a really good touch. You have a good touch.
Berbatov said that.
And that's coming from the king
Berbatov
of first touch.
Compliments you on your touch. What do you say?
What can you say?
I opened my mouth, my jaw dropped.
He was
I was literally like, so, Ash was there when it
And I'm
happened.
trying to
and
record.
and then I look at him and I was like, you just made my laugh. Honestly. So that was insane. And I think the cool thing with that one in particular was it was a new experience for me as trying to be a fan, but also professional at the same time. Like you always wonder how will you be in a situation, because I really did idolize him as a footballer.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the way that he plays is an art. It's beautiful. It's elegant. He's so calm. So I would match my style of play as a footballer to being I wanted to be the guy that's calm. Like you don't see no pressure.
Yeah.
But also look good.
Yes, of course.
You go because it's also about the audience as well. I would always think about that. So Berbatov, I loved him. And the nice thing was, like when I first met him, I was wearing a United jacket.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah,
He's
and
like,
then
got a show.
Then
got
he puts his arm on my shoulder, and then he looks at me and he's like, are you a real
You actually
fan?
got this on video.
Yeah, she's like, are you a real fan? And I was like, I'm not just a Man United fan, I'm a Dimitar Berbatov fan. And then I had
And then
it was
put
like,
his hand around the shoulder.
What a guy.
what a
Yo.
guy. And it was awesome. It was incredible. Like the conversations we had, I cannot wait for people to see.
Yeah, same. Can't
Same
wait,
with Abel Xavier was
Yeah.
a massively pleasant surprise in terms of
Middlesbrough, Portugal.
the conversations with him, like
So wise.
In Portuguese or English?
English.
Okay.
We did talk a lot about Portugal because he actually has a place very close to where my family live in Portugal, and we ended up like saying we're going to meet for like lunch in.
What a life.
It's crazy. Yeah.
No, it's
No, it was so
wild
cool and
stuff.
such an incredible human as well. Abel Xavier,
Then William.
William Ikong.
Yeah, I met him. So I was having lunch on Father's Day, and my wife took me out with our 4-month-old, and I'm just sitting, and then I see this guy walk past, and I'm like, I know this guy because I'm a fan of his. I watch his YouTube channel.
Yes.
The vlogs he does and stuff in Saudi and whatever.
Amazing.
Then my heart starts beating fast because I'm thinking content, blah, blah, blah. So I'm telling my wife, I'm like, I want to go speak to him. She's like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? No. I'm like, you're right. So I stand up, I go to him. I'm like, this is what I do. I would love to have you on if you're available. Can we do this? He stood up. He's like 6'5".
Yeah, he's tall.
Whatever.
He's tall.
I shake his hand and he's like, no problem. Here's my manager. Take his number. We'll chat. And I'm like,
You see, if you don't ask, the answer's always no.
Exactly,
That's
you
a
know?
huge thing. And also doing things scared. If you can bridge that gap just in life.
Scared, guys.
Because there are so many things that you can just not move. And then you just, there goes the opportunity,
Exactly.
you know?
And I didn't want that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so,
Luckily, his food took long to come. So I used that to my advantage. Because after I went, then his food came and I'm like, I don't have to disturb him anymore.
yes.
Yeah.
That you
but
actually
that's
maybe
alignment.
helped pass the time.
Exactly.
You helped his day. He'll remember you.
I hope so. Because they need to agree, you know. But I want to go back to that saying that says never meet your heroes. And you've met a couple of them. Is that saying true or false?
I think that's contextual because
nice answer.
like some heroes you may see as characters that aren't necessarily who they are as people, because you can see a footballer on the field, their personality on the field and how they react after games and heightened emotions maybe aren't who they really are. I say this as someone that gets very angry when I play, but I'm so chilled off the field. But in a moment of like heightened emotion when I'm playing, I can be very Bruno Fernandes and wave my hands and go crazy, you know, like I can lose my mind. But I don't think that's a true reflection of me as a person. So in terms of there might be people we perceive or actors or anyone that we might idolize that we see a certain way, but that's maybe just the role they're playing in what we see them as versus who they really are. Fortunately, who we have gotten to meet, we haven't had like negative experiences where it's like, I really thought more of this guy.
Could have been, and the big one for me is, like I mentioned earlier, obviously was BernardoSilva. So when we went to the Manchester derby in September, so City, we have a really good relationship with them directly because they first, so actually part of when we lost our page, right? When we lost our TikTok page, then we migrated to Instagram. And thank goodness we did that because it was our Instagram page that was sent to, I suppose, the marketing team at Man City. There was a wonderful fan from Australia who sent out, she must have found us and then sent the page. And then they reached out to Migs and they were like, hey, do you want a surprise? Like,
that was the craziest thing.
Will
Beautiful.
Go to, anyway, it was the most insane experience of my life. I still think about that and I'm like, there's just no way. Like, because then we went for, sorry about this. It was the Real Madrid Champions League game when City beat them 4-0. So it was the best, game, 72 hours of my life. I smiled the entire time. It was just, my cheeks were sore. I was hugging people. It was the best. And then they invited us for the actual Manchester derby last year, September, at the Etihad. And that was the first time we've gone to the derby. Sorry, again, it was 3-0 to Man City, okay? But prior to that, there was no mention of like meeting players and already the experience, I was just like, I don't need anything, honestly, for the rest of my life because I'm so appreciative and grateful. And then after the game, she's like, okay, so what do you think would make this trip even better? And I'm like, please don't do that to me. Like my little brain can't comprehend what you're about to say. She's like, we're going to go stand outside the dressing room and some of the players leave this way. So they'll leave and they'll stop and you can say hi. And I was like, no ways. And now it's not the whole team.
Yeah.
And BernardoSilva comes out.
Just to jump in as well before that, which people actually don't know as well, is the entire Man United team walked out as well. So I couldn't get content of it, but I got to say hello to the entire Man United team, like one by one.
This will stay with you forever.
But it was also after they lost 3-0, so they weren't in the best of spirits.
But even Amorim shook your hand.
But Amorim, when I said, all the Portuguese guys, I was like, hola Bruno. And then even Bernardo, I was like, hola Bernardo. And then, tudo bem, you know, like, and then they were actually also nice.
So
like they turned, responded, like asked me how I'm doing, whatever.
Yeah.
Really cool. Amorim stopped and came to shake my hand. And I'm also still, I loved Amorim. Like,
it was just
I was just hoping that
he
he would be the guy. But yeah, it was unfortunate. That's a story for another day. But then he came, shook my hand, asked me how I was. So lovely. And I was like, I'll defend you till the end of time.
And then
yes,
but
then it got even better.
Because then some of the players start coming out, and then there's Bernardo. And I'm like, another thing is like, I'm kind of towards the end. So some people get, and I was like, oh, that's Bernardo. Okay, cool. That's BernardoSilva. Okay, what like
literally like a favorite player.
And I've genuinely always thought that I would be very bad with like celebrities or but I've since matured.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and I was shaking a little bit just because it is crazy to go from watching someone on TV or someone that you have a connection with and they don't even realize, like they don't know the importance of their existence in your life for whatever reason. And I was just like, Bernardo, you're the reason I support this team. I said to him, I was like, I love you. And he's like, thank you very much. And then he takes a photo and he signed the shirt, and then I met Donnarumma, and it was his first.
On his debut.
Yeah, when you just signed.
And
nice.
I was like, thank you so much. And then also another one was Reinders, right?
Yeah,
because yes. So now the Euros that happened 2 years prior to that I can't remember. But anyway, we were lucky enough to go to some of the games there. And one of the games we watched was Netherlands versus France. And there's this guy running. And I'm like, who is that? And it's Reinders. And that was the first time I kind of clocked him, not thinking that he would play for my team.
Yeah.
And then he come, like, obviously when he signed, I was like, thank you so much for signing. I was like, I'm so happy. So, but in those moments, I think it's actually really nice to see that the gap that people put between themselves and other people is pretty much non-existent a lot of the times.
Like that.
None of those players did that.
Yeah.
Or obviously the ones with the ego that think they're bigger. Thankfully, we haven't encountered that yet. I'm sure one day, but all our interactions have been really positive, which means we go back after that and we lie and we're just staring at the ceiling
like,
and we're like,
silence, and you're just like,
and you're smiling and you can't. It's one of those moments where you're happier to be awake. Like I have a lot of those moments where like before, I mean, there's a lot of things that people go through in life, but there were a lot of times where I was like, I hated waking up, it was just a lot of things. And now it's like to be able to, like, I want to wake up. I'm like, okay, what next?
What a place to be in.
And again, that's why there's so much gratitude, because a lot of everyone goes through ups and downs and all these difficult moments and stuff, and we're no different. It's what you do in those moments. Like when our page disappeared, what were our options? Start again or not? And then who really wins if you're not? It's just like, it was a lot of things have happened, but the gratitude is like, it's overwhelming, actually.
Excuse my ignorance, but it looks like you guys don't have down moments because your life sounds so great. Excuse my ignorance. But in the down moments, how does it actually feel, and how do you recover from that? Because with all these highs, I'm sure the downs can be really low. So how do you guys handle that? Yes, Migs.
The downs, I think it all goes back to how you deal with any life situations, where we've gone through enough in the past when you're a creator, which even before content together we were as a writer and a singer, people are always going to judge you, and you basically in the most vulnerable space. You're putting yourself out there because you're putting your art out there, and you're exposing yourself as yourself out there. So you get a lot of criticism, a lot of hate, a lot of negativity. And I think having experienced that over time, you start to realize that even when you are trying to please people, you're still going to get hate. Even if you think for 100% certainty what you've said is right, there will still be people that disagree with you. So same goes with people that praise you as well, on both sides of the spectrum. So we feel gratitude even in moments where there's things maybe that we don't want to do. We call it adventure time. We like, if we have to go somewhere or do something we don't want, we like adventure time. Or for example, like our dog will make a mess in the house and we're like, what a privilege. We get to clean up this mess because she's not going to be there forever.
That wasn't always our mindset.
It wasn't. So this where I'm getting at is basically that it's over time, the difficult times, obviously having each other has been helpful to bounce off of one another. Because a lot of the times the negativity would mainly be directed to Ash, being a woman in football. There's a lot more negativity that comes.
A new fan,
City fan. There's much more that she would have to deal with. So naturally, being someone, I want to be there for her and help her get through that. But at the same time, that helps me get through the negativity as well. So I think in terms of the highs and lows now, I think we're in a much better, we have the tools now to better equip ourselves with the highs and lows. Because I mean, there are things even now that we're dealing with, that we're going through, but it's how you perceive them.
And how much of it you want to kind of take over as well. Because in the moment with whatever happens, it's up to you to see how you deal with it. And we've built really good communication over the last couple of years. It wasn't always the case. Like there were a lot of things that I had really bad habits, like you pick up on things just from whoever you're around, the things you see, TV, all this kind of stuff. And you just
indoctrination.
So all of that kind of stuff. So it can get quite difficult. And we'll be honest, like in the beginning, it was very difficult for me to adjust to, because Migs has been doing content for much longer than I have. And so he's also gone through those moments where people can show the ugly side of them, because it's inevitable, especially behind at user 1362. Like these people don't care. Okay. You can't see who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it doesn't matter. So the keyboard warriors are there. And it was very difficult in the beginning, because you realize that if people want to take a shot at, let's say, Man City, they hate the club. I'm an extension of that club to them. So they're like, okay, so I'm going to take a shot at you. I'm not going to take a shot at you and be like, oh, hey, your team sucks. Yeah, okay, you can say that, whatever.
Yeah, let's get personal.
Hey, you're fat. Alrighty.
There's
we're talking
some
about
messages we can't even say on this.
Because of how horrible. And something that I've learned is if people want you to know something, they're going to make sure they send it to you. They'll DM you. They don't care. Unfortunately, that comes with the territory, because that's not going to go away. So it's how do we manage that? So in the beginning, it was very difficult for me. And there were a few moments where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Yeah. But then, okay, so I'm the only one that loses then, because I'm not doing something that I love because of the possible judgment of other people. And regardless, it happens. And I knew, because I'm a woman as well, you just know that if someone disagrees with my opinion, it's not because we just disagree. Like if the two of you don't agree on who the best, you think Casemiro is the best, you think Bruno is the best in whatever the capacity, you'll just disagree. But if I say, Casemiro over Bruno, for example, in whatever sense, then they'll be like, yeah, you see, because you're a woman, you know nothing.
Yeah. Or what do you know? Yeah, that's rough. Yeah.
And so it was tough. I'll admit. Now it's got into a place where I just think I'm better equipped, and the fact that I have him is a huge bonus to have that kind of support. And also because I feel like I've learned so much from you over the years, the way you've handled certain things and all that stuff. And now it's just a case of having to let them. Like people are going to do what they're going to do. It can get very tough, but we're on the same team. That's the other thing that we've learned.
Nice.
Rivals on the football field, but
in life.
Teammates in life.
Yeah.
Teammates. And you are working with your spouse, right? Do you guys ever have time away from football? Because everything is football content. You have to post a video a day.
Yeah.
But when do you switch off and just be Miguel and Ashley, right?
Yes.
When does that happen and how?
Now it's difficult because of the World Cup and because there's so much happening. Because it's if it's our own content, there's brand content, there's work, there's studio, there's all the things that are happening. So in terms of personal time, there isn't any, to be honest.
Which
is nice because, sorry to cut you, a lot of people feel like in marriage, when that phase of business happens or busyness happens, you are a bad spouse if you don't have personal time. But it's just the phase because the World Cup's going to end.
Exactly.
It's pre-season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go again and then you go again.
And at the same time, the work we're doing doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
And because we're doing it together, it still feels
just hanging out
it
every
still
single
feels
day.
like we're having fun with our best friend, you know?
And also it's not, so like for example, with the First Things First that we do it every single morning. So that's first thing in the morning, we literally record, sit down, I do the graphics, he does the edits. We have a system that works. But we're sitting next to each other and we're listening to our handpan, or we have the office or whatever we feel like for that moment. But we'll just stop and have conversations. So it's not like we have a lot of conversations. And yes, a lot of it is football and whatever, but a lot of it is just general. You should be able to speak about absolutely everything. So in terms of like blocking out time, we do, when it's not World Cup time, like we have the opportunity to have like slower mornings, for example, which we know we're able to do. And so we make sure that the first thing we do once we're done with like First Things First is we go and get a coffee, we take our dog out, something that like you take a step away from the screen, because that's also important.
Yep.
I know like me, for example, social media for me now, that's work. So when I'm on social media, it's for work. I'm not on, okay, everyone doom scrolls and stuff, but very little time do I spend on there because it's a workplace now, almost, if that makes sense. So we do try and block it out, but we're lucky that, like you said, it doesn't feel like work. And for example, now we know with the World Cup how hectic it's been. It's the first time we've worked a tournament like this with different time zones, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't love it, you're going to absolutely hate what the things that happen, the early hours. But we're waking up, 2:45, and we're like, okay, let's sit up. Let's watch. But it's because we want to, and that's the big difference.
And how do you deal with conflict in the marriage when you have to go out to the studio or have to shoot content? How do you leave it, shoot the content, and then come back to the conflict, or have your gap and then come back when everyone's...
This is a good question.
This is such a good question because we have a recent example.
From my perspective, obviously you need to, when you grow with a partner, you learn how to communicate with one another. You know how people deal when they in higher states of emotion and lower states. I want to give you basically something we do.
The analogy. Okay, cool.
So there was a day we were fighting in the morning, like arguing, and we just we're missing each other. Like just one of those mornings. Like
I know in the car we had to leave to go somewhere. So we're just like bickering.
I'm not understanding where she's coming from, and I'm just like, overreacting, all of that. And
I'm like,
Ash was
just decide what an overreaction.
So then she was trying to explain where she's coming from, and brilliant analogy. She used colors. So green, yellow, orange, red. She's like, basically, if you have to look at green being when you're at your best, you're most calm, you're at peace, you're not easily triggered. You're aligned, right? And as you get closer to red, you're in maybe a more hostile space, like something will make you angry very quickly. And obviously it's like a spectrum. So from green to the scale, from green to red. So she's explaining this, and basically she's saying, so like I woke up green, she woke up like orange. And I'm thinking she's in the green, but meanwhile she's already in a heightened state in her mind that I'm not aware of. So when we're engaging in conversation, she's reacting, and a trigger that wouldn't necessarily trigger if she was in the green, now that she's in the orange already, it goes straight away. But I don't understand. I'm like, why are you going red?
If you're green, basically.
So I'm thinking you're green. Whereas now we understand in the mornings, we'll communicate
where we're at.
So if I say I'm orange today, she's orange, we know, like we consider the fact that that person is not in a state, they're in a state where they could potentially get triggered. So let's just be a bit more conscious of that.
Grace, or I think the over communication is something. So I struggled a lot with communication growing up and trying to really just express what I'm trying to say. And in being able to have like a scale like that, a baseline really for us to be like, okay, this is where we're at. That's been very helpful with our communication, because we could say from the beginning, I can be like, okay, listen, I'm feeling like I'm in the orange. That doesn't necessarily mean my whole day is going to be like that. And I don't necessarily get worse. But right now in this moment, this is where I'm at. So just having that awareness helps a lot. And I think it comes down to communication. If you can't communicate properly, and that's the other thing with me, I get very overwhelmed with my emotions. It's still something I'm learning to process and stuff. And so sometimes I'm the person that needs to just take a step back, take a deep breath, give me a moment. And
this is where our personalities will clash, because I want to sort things out now.
And I'm like, can we just...
And I don't want to shoot any content if we're not okay.
We don't,
because
we
I don't want an elephant in the room.
Because I'm going to show you on camera that I'm not happy.
Or the worst thing is to have to pretend. Because with our content, we don't pretend. No. Like, we do not pretend. So now we have a rule basically where we need to be okay first before content. So if it means the content doesn't go out, or it goes out late, where you have to deal with that, but that's part of working with each other. We're not going to compromise doing this piece of content. And the minute you start to do something because you have to, not because you want to, then you can have resentment building, and we don't want any of that. So thankfully, I'd say we've matured really well, actually.
It's also one of those things where it's like the more you do it, the
better you get.
But communication and having that picture, the green, it's helped us, because we would, even when we speak to people, we like, you look at your home environment. Is your home environment green? Is it, or if it's red, what's your work environment?
Is it
what is it about it that's making it red? Is it a specific person at your work that's making it red? Because you essentially want to be green for most of the day as much as you can.
Of course,
and if there are things that are making you red, you're more likely to be triggered and then essentially hurt the ones close to you, because we always hurt the ones closest to us. If we're angry, we can very quickly pick up the phone and speak to a stranger politely. But if we're angry and the person we love most says something, they're the ones we'll hurt the most. So, which is one of those natural things, because we know it's okay for us to be that way. So if we can visualize it in colors.
Yeah, I need analogies a lot of the time. I explain my life in analogies.
So now, right, we've spoken about the marriage, everything. I want to know the actual content that you guys do, the football side. How do you guys plan it? How do you do it? And is everything instinct or is it planned ahead? When you're watching a game, are you watching to give a reaction? Like, how does it actually work with the two of you?
I'd say it's very instinctual. To be honest, it's very little. There's planning if we know we're going to do a certain type of content that maybe we don't do often. So like we know during the season, you have your general, okay, we do predictions. Because before it was we would do predictions and then we would react to the game the next day. And then you realize that they have such a short lifespan. Even if it's the first goal and Man United score and you post that, but then it ends up being 3-1 to the other team. Late. It's like you're late, right? But that's all part of the journey. So with games, for example, we just watch the games. Like we're just watching, but we have an understanding of the reaction content because we know other people are experiencing this as well. And it's just about being like, it almost feels like you're speaking to a friend sometimes. It's like, guys, did you see that? You know? And that's what I think our page, without intending to, is meant to kind of be that other friend, you know, that you kind of connect with. So we're watching and it's there and whatever, but we wouldn't fake it either. Like if I don't want to react to something or if I'm not feeling it, then we just don't do it.
Also, we do. So what we do plan is we'll know for a fact every, for example, Premier League game week, we're going to do rapid fire. So we're going to do predictions. What they are, we don't know until we press record or we've planned separately ourselves, like what we're going to say. So we don't know what we're going to say. So rapid fire, we always know. Predictions for the teams we support and other big teams, we're definitely going to do predictions and a full-time reaction. Those are like guaranteed. Again, what we say in them, we don't know.
That just happens.
And most of the knowledge on those games, because we watch all the time, like we kind of know, okay, this team's going in with this kind of form. We'll just like brush up on what important things we have to do. But it's very little actual things we have to say versus just pressing record and going.
Then bouncing off each other.
Then the other absolute content that is much more planned though, more planned but also not, is our first things first, because we know now every morning we do a content piece, which is essentially a news piece of what's happened the 24 hours before. And that, again, we can't plan it until whatever's happened in the day has happened. But first thing in the morning, so while I'm still sleeping in the first alarm, Ash is, we have a group on WhatsApp, first things first. She'll type out all the points of what's happened before, because through the day, as we see things, we add it to a folder for that date. We add a date and we added everything that's happened.
And obviously we try to, again, we're not trying to be we're not a news channel. We're not trying to claim to be journalist either. Like that's not, we're as fans, we're saying, guys, these are the things that happened. Like just in case you missed the kind of thing. Again, it's that whole friend kind of come and get that info from us.
Maybe you don't watch football, but you want to just see what happened.
And we don't say it. We also don't deliver the information as if it's a news channel. We deliver it as in, guys, we played cuck, for example, you know, like that kind of thing. Or we played great, you know.
But then that would be, in terms of planning, that will be typed out. And then that'll be something we literally look at and we're like, okay, we go one at a time. And that's more planned. Everything else, like the reactions, you can't plan on the fly. Or sometimes like ideas will just hit and
the mind is always working.
The mind's working. You're like, we should do this content piece. And
sometimes you actually have to, I find like, I have to stop myself in certain scenarios and be like, not everything is a content piece either. Like you have to find that balance between like just living and not living so that people can see you're living. We try to avoid that. But like you do find yourself in scenarios where it's like, oh, something funny happened. You're like, that would be great to have that moment. But then it's really not that deep. Like we have the moment here, you know? So some things it's okay to just have the memories. But the way things are set up now, also because we have so many people that come after like games with reactions, they're like, I've been waiting for this. I also reacted like this. So it's like, we've seen what works, what connects with people. And that's just the aim the whole time.
And to close, what are some advices you can give to content creators? Someone like myself who's a big fan. You guys are living my dream, man. You know, what advice would you give to people like myself trying to do well in their fields?
I think the best advice is everyone already has everything they need to succeed, which is being themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We try so hard to be like someone else. And a lot of times we don't even know who we are until we try different things. Like, I didn't think I would be a football creator, you know. I wanted to be a footballer for a period of time. I'm still a singer, but I was like only being a singer, releasing music, and you do kind of box yourself. So my advice is to, I don't believe in boxing yourself or just doing one thing. I think I don't know if I'm going to be a football creator for the rest of my life. Maybe I don't know what I'll do, but I'm open to whatever doors might come and to try new things. So I would say to try new things, not be afraid, do it scared.
Do it scared.
And a new quote, which I love so much. Yeah. I love, which is about being cringe. So content creators often get criticized for being cringe or like, and essentially the saying goes, cringe is just confidence you don't relate to. That's
Thank you. I'm going to take that.
And that was a game changer for me as well.
And
it's like light bulb moment.
If you're doing something that can come across cringe to someone else, it's just because they're seeing you living your best life unapologetically without caring what people think. And they perceive that as cringe. They just can't relate to it. They can't relate to your confidence. So don't dim yourself just because of somebody else. So content creators or anyone that wants to put themselves out there, the biggest fear is actually putting yourself out there of what people might judge you on.
You're going to be judged.
You're going to be judged.
Regardless.
Even if you're the best,
you will be
judged.
A big thing is also being okay with realizing you can't explain yourself to everyone.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing. Like if you put up a video and someone misinterprets something based on their understanding or their truth of a situation or whatever, that's where they're coming from. And so I can't sit and explain to you, that's not what I meant. I meant that obviously there's some scenarios in which if it's a case of people are perceiving our character incorrectly or whatever, like that's a very big thing for us because we live very strongly with our values and just being good. That's a big thing, but it's going to happen. And also criticism is going to come. People are going to want to get in your way, but that's just them getting in your way. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to stay there. You can bypass it. And it's also just a moment. There was this quote that I also like. I don't know if it's a quote, whatever it is. It's a visual. It's, like, what's that heart thing when you're in the...
heart monitor.
Yeah. And it goes, that whole thing. The whole thing is basically like, if your life is just like this, then you're flatlined, know, because life is this. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You will have good, you will have bad. How you bounce back from the bad is very important.
Yeah, and how you react.
And how you react to things.
Because there'll be moments, especially as a creator, where you're in the public eye, when things happen to you, where how you react is so much more important than what happened. Because you can see a lot of cases where creators or like people in the public eye will react poorly to something because they react on emotion or get defensive.
And that's the other thing,
Or two, they don't want to take accountability because people make mistakes as well.
And that's a big thing. Like even with our first things first, we obviously do our best to include things, and sometimes we might get things wrong because it's human nature, but we're very big on just being like, you know what, you're right, put your hands up. I think if people did that in life, the world would be a better place. If you could just be like, hey, that's on me, not so much, what have you done? People always have to find someone to blame, but you're going to have to do your thing and forge your own path despite everything else. It has to be water off a duck's back. Even if some days it really hurts, the next day it will hurt less kind of thing. That's some of that.
And in 1 or 2 sentences, what can we look out for when it comes to the both of you as individuals and as a collective going forward?
So definitely we are focusing on expanding our individual brands as well at the same time. So like our personal passions, whilst we continue to grow our duo. Yeah. So you, from my side, will hopefully expect some more music at a later stage, more collaborations, a lot more also outside football.
Even with content, we're big on collaborations and wanting to collaborate with people and also wanting to get to know people. And so a big part of what we're planning is also a particular platform in which we can have deeper conversations or longer conversations than what people have seen outside of just the football. But it also can work, of course, because it's a big part of it. But yeah, it's just planning content, and hopefully we'll get to do a lot of experiences that we can take people on a journey with. I think that's...
so like more games, more behind the scenes, hopefully more conversations with people inside the business, of football.
We're going to be knocking.
Yeah, just to show also footballers in another lens where they aren't just characters on the field, like I was saying earlier, but they're also people, and to share those stories. So definitely a lot more content, but more of the same, I would say.
And what's one word do you want to resonate when people think of the two of you? Manchester Derby.
Oh, that's a good question.
One word. You go first.
The first word that came to my mind was kindness, not necessarily within the I didn't know what the context was, but just whether it's because we try to be good and to spread as much kindness as we can just through anything that we do. We would hope that the people that watch our content would do the same, or would think in a moment, okay, how can I just be extra kind today? Just because I think we could all do with a little bit more kindness.
I got a word.
Okay, go.
Belief. Because we want people to watch as we believe in ourselves, living out our dreams.
Yes.
And giving them the strength to be empowered enough to believe in their own dreams. If we can do that, like I can't explain, anyone will know the feeling of having someone feel empowered in some way, whether it be a child learning something new. That feeling is so fulfilling, to be able to be like, hey, you can do this. Like, you are enough.
Yes.
You just need to believe in yourself. And I honestly believe that
we limit ourselves. We fully limit ourselves. And the way things are set up is generally to make people think that they can't do majority of the things that they can do.
And nobody knows what they're doing everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's figuring it out. Nobody knows what they're doing. So even if you feel like an imposter, like, just own your space.
Just imposter.
Yes.
And
your thoughts are not facts.
Yeah.
The feelings you have up here are not always facts. And it's important to be able to distinguish between them and work through them, because they can sometimes affect a lot of what you do.
But the one word, kindness, belief. There we go.
To summarize.
Man, what a conversation. Football, marriage, business, content, pressure, purpose. This was special. Ashley and Miguel, thank you for coming through. Thank you for accepting to be a part of this. You said it's your first podcast interview. As a couple.
In terms of like maybe on a personal
level.
Personal.
Yeah.
So it's an honor for me. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me. And to everybody watching, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We're at the 4,100 subscribers. So thank you very much. Drop your biggest takeaway from this episode. And as always, keep building, keep believing, keep showing up. I'll see you at the next one. My name is Rudy Samuel, and I'm signing all the way out.